It's now a right time to buy a property. I get asked this question almost every other day for the past 3 years since COVID hit, and even until now where prices are at an all-time high. So when's a good time to buy one?
I don't know.
Nobody knows. Not me, not your trusted agent, not even the top analysts have a clear idea of what is to come. Remember back in Circuit Breaker of 2020 where almost every guru was predicting a double-digit drop in the market? That's my point. Yes, certain data might paint you a picture, but in reality, everyone is just second guessing. Since no one knows when's a good time to buy, the correct emphasis should be on finding the right property. It is the same as buying equities. On a shorter run, stocks is a voting machine. On a longer run, stocks is a weighing machine. You can never catch the bottom of the market, but the savvy investors look at the fundamentals of the company and apply a certain technique to evaluate what's a safe price to enter in. Today, I'll be sharing with you guys on how I quantify selecting the right ones with 3 schools of thoughts. Price and location is not the only metrics I use, not even if it's a freehold or leasehold, because the market sentiments and preferences have changed over the years, but more on that later. This is applicable for not only new launches, but also resale too, which I will cover more in this channel. And video here today will be a bit deep and longer than usual, but stay with me as I guarantee you the takeaway will be worthwhile. First and foremost, disclaimer, whatever I'm about to share with you does not constitute to financial advice. They are solely based on my opinions on the market, so please do your own due diligence. Hi, my name is Clinton and this is the first video on Pocket View. I am a real estate agent and investor for the past 13 years. Although I can say that I understand the whole of Singapore very well, East Coast has always been my playground where most of my clients are. Tanjung Ru, Mayor Road, all the way to Bayshore. So I kind of understand what the East Coast plan is exactly.
We have East Coast, Singapore, we have a together at East Coast plan. We care at East Coast.
I've managed to grow my clients and our wealth over the years with a very stringent and pragmatic approach on the real estate market. My wife and I currently own a landed property and a new launch that we have gotten only recently, which I will touch on our next video.
Nice.
Could we have bought these properties by saving over the years? That is 100% not possible. We had to make a series of right moves to end up at where we are right now. Anyway, based on very strong feedback from my clients, the purpose of me setting up this channel is to hopefully give you an objective and comprehensive view on whether a property is worth buying or not. It is like evaluating a property inside out. There's plenty of people out there who educates consumers that almost everything you hit touches gold. But trust me, the reality is not often the case. Near Amati, just buy only. Near Transformation, just buy. Core Region property selling at a discount, just buy only. Confirm make money. But remember this one thing, it is very easy to buy a property. You see it, you like it, you buy it. The selling part is actually often the toughest part. I try to speak to you by taking the agent out of the equation here as an investor driven by data and the real emotions of a home-seeking individual. Now, why is the emotional part of the equation very important? Because very often many people fail to position themselves in end users' perspective to understand what drives demand in the future. Let me give you an example. If you're searching for a property to buy, do you typically log on to your preferred search engines to input your criteria based on budget and requirements? And when suitable listings appear with probably a good layout or a good facing, you will likely reach out to the agent and arrange a viewing, right? Now, if the unit is good, what happens next? You'll probably ask the agent to bring you down to check out the grounds, right? Now, if you think about it, if it's an apartment with hardly any facilities and having a family with kids, you're probably like, nah, that's not suitable for us. So that's the point I'm trying to bring up. Price alone with good layout or facing doesn't say everything about property. The rule of thumb in property investing is to find that one asset that has the least objections so that the premium paid in the future is easily justifiable. And that's why I've come up with a method to scrutinize every single property to see if it's deemed safe or risky to enter. Personally, I have seen the market where it was here, slightly after the Lehman crisis, low but picking up quickly, to here kind of pickish in 2012, and then almost 4 years of gradual decline. Then rebounded and all the way to supposedly peakish market in 2019 and right where we are now, all-time high. Now along the way, I always get asked this question of whether that moment in time was the best time to buy or not. But my simple answer to that is always,
I don't know.
I have no idea. But what I can help you with is to identify the right property. Because that's proven. Good properties tend to appreciate over time even if you bought it before a minor or major blip. Now, can I say that during the bad times, your chances of buying something that makes money is supposed to be higher, right? You know, you can also lose money. Now, during the good times where everything is expensive, you're supposed to be buying something that makes lesser money, right? You also can make a lot of money. Hence, time is really only a form of distraction. So, carrying out my assessment using a 3-circle method, I call this the QPE Framework. For those who are new, I just simply need to find a property that encompasses the good of these 3 circles. No noises from the outside to influence you, no sales talk, no whatever. Now, let's talk about the first circle, price. I think this is quite idiot-proof. Price is a huge factor in whatever you buy. Be it car, real estate, stocks, literally anything. But I can tell you, it's not the only key decider for the property market. Of course, if today you are getting something at half the price, that confirm make money. But how often in a market like this, where we are now, do we get a huge discount? So we've got to be a bit realistic to ask ourselves, at the high prices that it is right now, can we still make money eventually? How about determining whether a price is too high or too low? First things first, long gone are the days that per square foot is the only measuring matrix of whether something is too expensive or not. Affordability is becoming more and more important. Let me give you a bit of a perspective. Back in 2017, a very atas leasehold brand new multi-modern 3-bedroom, 1012 square feet was selling their low floor units at around 2050 per square foot and at a quantum of around 2.1. At the same time, a 8-year-old freehold Rivergate 2-bedroom 1044 square feet sold some units at around 2350 per square foot for a similar height range at a quantum of about $2.4 million. 3 bedrooms were going at around $3 million for its 1,503 bedrooms. Now, can you see what I'm trying to bring up? Both per square foot is about the same, but the efficiency of space is not the same. Both are the same size, while one is a smaller 3-bedroom and the other is a more generous size 2 bedrooms. For a start, do you think it's easier to rent it out higher for a brand new 3-bedroom or an older 2-bedroom? Now, the charts. For sure, there will be people who would favour Rivergate for it being a freehold and a more spacious apartment. Let them go for it. But on the other end, you also will get a group of buyers who rather have a brand new apartment with a 3-bedroom to spare rather than 2. On each spectrum, there is clearly a market for each. So you can't exactly say one is a clear winner without understanding the two. In this case, Rivergate 3-bedroom was easily above 3 million, while Martin Modern was around 2.1, one of the lowest entry level in the River Valley area, but with an extremely atas touch to it. If you look at the profits for both of them, you will notice that Martin Modern made more money. Hence, entry level is equally as important to look at as compared to a square foot. Now that we understand this point that per square foot and quantum holds equal weightage, we got to pit the resale property prices versus the new launch in similar area. As new launches are always forward pricing in any given area, the gap between them and an older resale property is usually 20-40% depending on age. If the gap is very narrow, you'll get a sense that the new launch might be more worthy to consider, right? If the gap is very wide, you might be better off with the resale property. To put it into much simpler terms, it's like buying a brand new car and a second-hand car. If the gap is too narrow, you might as well just buy the brand new car. If the gap is too wide, maybe you should pick the second-hand one. Case in point, I identified last year before the actual launch that AMO Residences at Ang Mo Kio was likely my launch of the year for 2022. And the older property, Bishan Park, was also worth exploring for those who don't have the budget. A bit of context, Bishan Park is located right in front of Bright Hill MRT and also located 1 km within good schools. Now, here's why. Let me use a 3-bedroom as a reference. AMO Residences 1044 square feet was averaging around 1950 to 2050 per square foot and at around 2.05 million onwards. Panorama 1109 square feet 1820 per square foot and at around 2.018 million. Thomson Gresham 1055 square feet 1837 per square foot and around 1.938. And Bishan Park 1270 square feet at only 115 per square foot at 1.418. Now, do you see the price differences? Panorama and Thomson Impression was a mere 7 to 10% apart from AMO. And you know what? Bishan Park condo was a whooping 70% difference in per square foot and 45% by absolute figure. Okay? So if those who had the money, the value back then was in AMO and Bishan Park condo. I hope this ages well because Bishan Park has appreciated by about 250k in the same time period, but of course the verdict is not out for AMO yet as it's only 1 year into the sale. So ultimately, price is important from both per square foot and an entry-level point of view. Now on to the second circle, quality. I would like to break down quality into several sub-points to analyze. If you think price is the heart of any purchase, to me the land size and layout are like the lungs of the investment. Real estate is really ultimately more about what you see and feel beyond what you see on a spec sheet. Number one, land size, design of facilities and facade. This is the point that most people tend to not prioritize, but to me this is almost as important as pricing. It's very simple. The larger land you have, the more developers can build for residents, right? Whether a development looks good or not is extremely subjective, but I try to see it from a majority standpoint. Let me show you an example of good land size and facilities. Costa del Sol at District 16, surrounding grounds with good range of facilities, nice facade, nice swimming pools, good views if you're on a higher floor. If you take a look at the site plan, not bad, right? And Jetscape at District 20. You see, these are the kind of developments that most families with kids would want to be in. An example of bad ones, I don't want to give names, but you should get the idea, right? Judging from looks, if you got kids, I think this is something you might have trouble accepting. Point number two, layouts. Layouts are very important too. Most buyers will not even visit a property if the layout is too odd, or if the layouts are good, it will retain good value as time goes. Example of good layout, this is a 4-bedroom layout of a new launch recently, 1464 square feet, good flow to the entire house, private lift entering to the living with a wide frontage. A wide frontage layout will always give you the sense of space and the natural light that comes in. A short walk leads you to the kitchen where you even have the luxury of having an island. Rooms all tucked at one corner with no wasted space, no bay window, no odd corners. And interestingly enough, all toilets have a window opening. And all rooms fits a queen-size bed with space to put an extra side table. This is about as clean as you can get in terms of a good layout. Now, example of a bad layout, 2-bed, 1-bath unit enters into the living room with an open concept kitchen tucked at the wall, just like part of the living area. Good size balcony, but a quick look at the rooms. Bedroom 2 is only 6.58 square meter. I mean 6.58 square meter, you can barely even fit in extra stuff beyond a super single bed. And you know what makes it worse? The AC latch location is at the window of the bedrooms, which means that they are likely only half-length windows. Looks definitely small and claustrophobic. Master toilet serves the occupants and guests. And your master bedroom is only 8.93 square meter. It's about the same as brand new launch common bedroom sizes, and of course brand new launches sizes are all very small. There's also likely only 2 panels of full glass window here, which means that light coming in is probably another problem. All in all, this is the type of layout that will get plenty of objections. Remember, the rule of thumb is to find yourself a good unit with the least objection, not the most objection. Okay, point number 3, location, MRT, amenities. These 3 are somewhat correlated. Traditional investors might tell you that property investment is all about location, location, location. But to me, location is just merely a bonus if it is convenient. Let me show you an example of properties that has appreciated over time even when the location is bad. You see, High Park Residences located at Jalan Kayu. What's Jalan Kayu famous for? Roti prata. So unless you love roti prata, I think the location is pretty normal, right? All the way to the west is Westwood Residences. Of course, this is the EC. A lot of people say EC confirm make money, but this is located all the way west to Pioneer Road, close to my old army camp in Lim Chu Kang. And I can tell you, I dread driving there every time because the 40 minutes drive from up north is going to drive you crazy as far as I'm concerned. No MRT, no nothing, but look at its profits. Let's face it, every part of Singapore has someone wanting to get something. You just need to understand who are these end users and what are deal breakers for them. Remember, if I give you a good location but comes with a bad layout with poor facilities, you also will struggle to make money. Case in point, CBD properties. I hope I don't offend any owners. Location again, not a deal breaker because what you get at the end matters more. Point number 4, views. Views are always good to have, but not super important unless you are paying the same price for a good view versus a lousy view. You'll be surprised, some people just want to pay lesser for a lesser view due to budget constraints. So no right, no wrong. Certain areas where views are possibly deal breakers, then you might want to consider paying a premium for it. And one example is Mayor Road, where the selling point of the properties there are for its convenience and the sea facing. So if you get a chance to get a unit that's facing the sea, please do so. Now, third circle, exit strategy, supply. Is there a lot of supply in that particular neighborhood? Let's look at the overview of this neighborhood. Imagine you're someone looking at this area. Are you going to stop your search after visiting just one condo? Or is it going to be a tedious look after a month before you come to a conclusion? Economics 101, supply demand. If you are a store owner selling coffee and there's 3 customers wanting to buy your last cup of tea, do you think there will be takers if you put a higher price on it? Answer is yes, right? Now look at it from another angle. If you have 3 cups of coffee and there's only 1 customer, would you probably want to sell your drink at a lower price due to an oversupply? Example, Tampines Treasure, 2,000 over units. Looks like oversupply, right? You're not wrong, you're 100% right. There is an oversupply in the condo itself. But if I were to extend our search upwards in the mature estate of Tampines, you realize that Treasures is about the only go-to option. So, is it an oversupply or undersupply? Is the property you are buying an area that has an oversupply issue or undersupply issue? Point number 2, transformation. To me, buying into an area with transformation is overrated. It takes time to develop and very often it might not be the key driver for price appreciation. If you look at the Paya Lebar transformation as an example, can we say the transformation there is almost 70-80% completed? But does that mean that properties there appreciated higher than other areas with no significant transformation? The answer is no. It doesn't mean being at the heart of transformation will get you more money. It is simply to me a sales talk because there's actually some premium price into it. The sellers and developers are not oblivious to that idea. Point number 3, school. Extremely good to have, but does it matter that much? Yes, if the area is like Bukit Timah where schools are the key driver for demand in that neighborhood. No, if it's a more heartland area where you have lesser tiger mums and dads. But keep in mind, being within a school zone ensures that there's always a steady pool of people looking out for addresses every year for that very purpose. It draws people out of their place of familiarity to come to your neighborhood. The rental demand also can come from the group of parents beyond your usual expats renting. I speak for them as I grew up in Lentor for almost 30 years and recently moved to Bukit Timah not because my lifelong dream is moving to that area. I don't really like the area that much, but because of the presence of school, no choice. I mean, come on, let's be realistic about it. Certain school cultures are different. I'll be a fucking populist if I tell you that all schools are equal. Point number 4, target audience. Who are the end users in the future? We have to understand who they are and what they might like or dislike. Imagine you can't identify who are your future buyers, then you are really buying blindly, man. When I look at Sterling residences closely a few years ago, I knew that the condo was surrounded by $1 million HDBs. If you buy a 3-bedroom, the eventual buyer is likely going to be one of the HDB upgraders coming from that neighborhood, right? Looking for an area of familiarity and an upgrade in lifestyle, probably. Now, if you buy a 1-bedroom, who do you attract? HDB upgraders? I don't think so. Mainly investors? Probably. And do you ideally want to deal with a pool of investors in the future? I hope not. That's why the price performance varies for different unit types. And you can't have a blanket statement to say that a condo caters to a certain group. It's down to an individual unit type. Same thing for District 15 in Tanjung Road and May Road. There is a certain group of people buying. Who are they and what draws them to these properties? Are they mainly HDB upgraders? No. So different areas and different products have different target audiences. You need to really sit down to understand that point. In conclusion, if you put these 3 school of thoughts into the 3-circle QPE method, you will realize that the evaluating process is quite thorough. It allows you to ignore potential noises that might dissuade or persuade you to buy. And if you apply them carefully, you will realize that there's plenty of properties out there being hyped up right now that might be trash in time to come. Every circle is equally as important. You take one away and the whole equation suddenly doesn't work. If you look at CBD properties, it checks the prices and quality circle, but what doesn't work for me? And that is the exit strategy. I just can't imagine your target audience beyond your investors, because how many locals really want to be living in the CBD area? And I told you, I absolutely hate to deal with investors because they tend to put pressure on your pricing. It's very often a non-emotional decision. To them, it's about getting the best price, best rental out of a purchase. So when you take one circle away, it explains why the properties in that neighborhood hasn't been performing that well as compared to other areas. It really isn't simply just about location, or pricing, or that only freehold properties can make you money. I can also show you a long list of leasehold properties that makes more money than freehold. Remember, no one can tell you when's the best time to buy, and that includes me. Just focus on getting the right property with the right attributes, because even if you got a good property right at the peak before a crash, the good property will appreciate accordingly due to healthy demand. Ultimately, a property asset is essentially an important stepping stone for most Singaporeans towards financial freedom. Sounds a bit cringy, but that is the reality. In the next few videos, I will share with you what I feel are good buys in both the resale market and new launch segment by applying the QPE method adopted, and you'll be the judge if it makes sense or not. If you guys like what you have listened or seen so far, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as I bring you more insights on the property market from a neutral point of view. And also, if you want to cover certain properties using this method, leave a comment below and I'll work some magic. And if you have any questions or queries that you might want to ask privately, feel free to reach out to me at my handphone number here. No obligations. And remember this one thing, do not try to time the market. You are never too smart. Instead, focus on buying the right property. Until our next video, here is Pocket View signing out.